My entitled grandmother stole my new clothes and exchanged them for steel utensils, so I gave away her utensils. My grandmother lives with us and she's obsessed with collecting steel utensils. In India, vendors come door to door and you can trade old clothes for pots and pans. Normal people use actual old stuff. My grandmother hoards every piece of clothing anyone tries to throw out so she can trade it for more utensils that just sit in her room collecting dust. My dad puts a bag by the door for charity and she drags it back inside. My stepmom hid clothes in her car trunk once and my grandmother went through it at the market. She doesn't stop at old clothes either. She'll claim our current stuff doesn't fit right anymore, so we have to hide clothes we like or she'll grab them. She never touches her own stuff though, just takes from everyone else. I'm 21 and I finally lost a bunch of weight. Nothing in my closet fit anymore, so I hit this clearance sale and spent basically all my money on new clothes. Jeans that actually fit, nice tops, a denim jacket I loved. I got home around noon and dumped everything on my bed because my friend Priya called saying she was already waiting at the cafe. I figured I'd put stuff away later. 3 hours later, I walked into my room and the bags were gone. My new clothes were gone. My dad was at work and my stepmom had taken my brother to cricket practice. Only my grandmother was home. I went straight to her room. She was sitting on her bed organizing new steel plates and pots. I asked where my clothes were. She didn't look up. She said they were too westernized and ugly, so she traded them for something useful. I started yelling at her in English and Hindi. She kept stacking her plates like I was being unreasonable. She finally looked at me and said I was being dramatic and should thank her for saving me from dressing like I was trying to impress boys. When everyone got home, I was still furious. My stepmom backed me up immediately because the one thing we agree on is how insane my grandmother is. My dad told my grandmother she couldn't go in my room anymore without permission. She started fake crying about how cruel we all were. My dad promised me later he'd replace the clothes, but I could tell he just wanted the fighting to stop. I wasn't satisfied though. She got to keep her precious pots and I got nothing. My grandmother takes sleeping pills every afternoon, and when they kick in, she's completely gone. I've seen my brother blast music next door, and she didn't move. I spent the next few days watching her go into her room to stare at the new utensils she got from my clothes. She'd take them out of this old trunk in the corner like they were jewelry. It made me angrier every time. On the fourth day, she took her pills at 2. By 2:30, I could hear her snoring. I grabbed a cloth bag from the kitchen and went into her room. The trunk was in the corner under a blanket. I opened it and it was packed with pots, plates, glasses, serving spoons. Some looked new and some had dust from sitting there for months. I grabbed enough that she'd notice, maybe 20 pieces. I closed the trunk and left. There's an old age home 10 minutes away. I knocked and this older woman answered. I said I wanted to donate utensils and she got so happy. She said they'd been needing plates and pots for weeks. She kept thanking me and it felt good knowing they'd actually get used instead of rotting in my grandmother's room. I got home and acted normal. My grandmother woke up around 6 and went about her evening. She didn't check the trunk. She didn't check it the next day either, or the day after that. 3 days later, I was making chai when I heard her scream. Not scared, but like someone just destroyed something she loved. My dad ran to her room and I followed. She was crouched in front of her open trunk, breathing hard, saying someone stole from her. My dad asked if we knew anything. I waited a few seconds and let her panic. Then I said, yeah, I took them and donated them to the old age home down the street. Her face went bright red. My dad asked why I'd do that. I looked right at my grandmother and said I thought they were ugly, and that I did the right thing giving them to people who'd actually use them instead of letting them rot. She started screaming about how I had no right to touch her things. I said if she could walk into my room and take my brand new clothes without asking, then I could do the same thing. My dad just stood there with his mouth open. What was he supposed to say? I used her exact logic against her. My grandmother cried for over an hour. My dad tried to calm her down, but she wouldn't stop. I went to my room and slept better than I had in months. She never took my stuff again. Years later, when she died, the first thing we did was donate every single one of those utensils she wasted her life collecting.